lower left-hand corner, it'll say live on, we're live.
Okay.
Usually it gives us a little warning. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Community Chats for Friday, May the 2nd. My name is Erin Paysor-Oath, and I am filling in for Anthony Siracusa today. I serve as the project manager for community engagement here at the University of Mississippi. I'm joined with my colleague, Jody Holland, for these regular conversations with individuals in the Lafayette Oxford University community who are working hard to make a positive difference in our region. So Community Chats is a series we come to you live on Facebook on Wednesdays and Fridays from 12 noon to about 12:30. Our goal with this series is to elevate community leaders from our region and allow them to tell their story, who they are, why they do the work that they do, what that work is, and what are their visions for the future. Would you like to be interviewed here and be a part of our series? Do you know somebody we should interview? We want to hear from you. So please be in touch with us here on our Facebook page, or you can also email us at engaged@olemiss.edu. Community Chats is an initiative of the Office of Community Engagement at the University of Mississippi in close partnership with our friends at LOFT, the Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow. You can learn more about LOFT in our first episode of the series. So today we have the honor and privilege of being joined by Ms. Stephanie Green from Strawberry Plains Audubon Center. We're so delighted to have you on the show today, Stephanie. So thank you so much for being a part of us.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So let's jump right in. Can you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, how you ended to come here to this place to do this work?
So as you can probably tell by listening to me, I am not from Mississippi. I actually am a native Floridian. I was born and raised in Central Florida, went to school in Kentucky for both graduate and undergraduate, went back to Florida for 12 years before seeing an opening for an ecologist position here at Strawberry Plains, and just took the jump and decided that it would be a really neat opportunity and a new place to kind of learn and live. And so that's what brought me here. So I've been here about 2.5 years, going on 3 years now.
Nice. Now, Stephanie, did you come directly into this position, or did you start and work your way up? Tell us a little bit about your position and what you do and how you got into that position.
Okay. Yeah, I actually applied to the ecologist position. So before coming to work with Audubon and coming to work at Strawberry Plains, I was actually working for a state agency in Florida, managing conservation lands in Southwest Florida. And so I was ready for a change, maybe a change of scenery and also just a change in positions. And looking to get back a little further north where there's actually seasons. And don't get me wrong, I love Florida, but I definitely love my hardwoods and different birds that breed and migrate through this area. And so this was a good mix between Kentucky and Florida. But I came directly into the position. So my official title is ecologist here at Strawberry Plains. And I, just like any other small nonprofit, we wear multiple hats. So I am predominantly responsible for the on-the-ground land management here of the center. We have about 3,000 acres that we're responsible for the management of. And then I also right now organize and run our native plant nursery, including the native plant sales that we are currently doing. And then I help work with community members throughout the region, private landowners, if they come to us and they say, you know, we'd really like to manage our land for wildlife or for different species, then I kind of act as a person go out and either give advice or help them walk them through some of those processes. And that's kind of a little bit of what I do in a nutshell, along with helping with our educational programs and other big projects that we're involved in the region.
Great, thank you.
Oh. Yeah, it sounds like you do a lot. So for those that aren't as familiar with Strawberry Plains, can you just kind of zoom out a little bit and tell us a little bit about what Strawberry Plains is, what is Audubon, what's the focus of your work?
Yeah, sure. So Strawberry Plains, we are one of we're a sanctuary, a wildlife sanctuary, and a nature center. And we're one of around 41 Audubon centers spread throughout the country. And if you look at a map, there's actually 2 centers here in the state of Mississippi. We also have a sister center that's located in Pascagoula, or it's located in Moss Point, and that's the Pascagoula River Audubon Center. But so we are kind of a hub for education, for conservation education, also for resources, whether that's demonstration on how landowners can manage their land, but we also serve to just kind of be as a community center, whether that's for community science opportunities, volunteer opportunities, education about your local habitats and natural areas. We're a little different in the realm of Audubon centers in that we do actually have 3,000 acres that we manage and we have access to, and that the public can come and utilize, whether that's through one of our workshops or just coming out to hike and enjoy nature and kind of learn habitats around them.
That's pretty amazing. That's a large operation. And speaking of that, tell us about your staff. How do they serve the organization? Tell us a little bit about some people you work with.
So we are, we're definitely small staff, but that's pretty common with a lot of nonprofits and also just small organizations. We have, like I said earlier, everybody wears multiple hats. So we have our interim state director actually kind of runs between our coastal center down at Moss Point and then also here, and kind of oversees the general workings between our centers. And then we also have a coastal bird program down on the coast. And so he helps kind of oversee and make sure we're all firing on all cylinders. We have different positions, education managers. We have a field and ground maintenance gentleman that's been here at Strawberry Plains for probably, I want to say at least 15, if not 20 years. He is the longest of us, and he's kind of the nuts and bolts, keeps all of our buildings going, keeps our grounds mowed and maintained. And then we, honestly, we use a lot of volunteer labor. We wouldn't be able to do most of what we do, whether that's our education programs, our Hummingbird Festival, or just our citizen science and some of our research without the volunteers. And those volunteers come from the whole area, as far away as Tupelo down to Oxford and then further north into Tennessee. So we really have a wide geographic range.
Wow. Sounds like you cover so much territory and so many different kind of programs. So you mentioned some of the specific programs that you do. I heard a couple in there, like the Hummingbird Festival, that just piqued my interest. So can you tell us a little bit more about some of those specific programs and maybe some ways that volunteers can plug into those?
Yeah, sure. So we have, in normal times, we definitely have a lot of educational programs that are happening almost every Saturday. We usually have an educational opportunity, and it's for all ages. And that's one of the really neat things about Strawberry Plains is you can come to one of our workshops or programs and you will have 3- and 4-year-olds in the workshop with you all the way to 20-something-year-olds. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And that common bond is that everybody wants to learn and they're learning more about their natural world. And our programs range from bird identification, 101. We also we've had like nature printing using flowers and natural inks. We've done more artistic. We've done mindfulness workshops. We do some summer stargazing workshops. So we really kind of spread it out so that throughout the course of the year, something that we have is going to pique someone's interest. And then volunteer opportunities, they range from, you can come help us fill and clean hummingbird feeders in July, August, September, because that's a huge job in and of itself, because we'll have upwards of 20 feeders going in preparation for their fall migration. And then we also do volunteer opportunities for climate watch through National Audubon. We do bluebird boxes, so there's next box checks that people can come and help with. And then just land management, you can come help me pull weeds. You can help in the native plant nursery. We have a lot of volunteers that help pot up plants and maintain and clean those. So there's just a lot of different activities. And then of course the Hummingbird Festival is one of our big, probably one of the reasons most people know about us. And that's that runs on about 150 to 200 volunteers. When we put that on, it totally changes the nature of this place. We go from a sleepy, quiet little sanctuary to a tent city with speakers and vendors and people, and it's really fun.
Wow, you sound like you all stay a lot, really busy.
We do.
Tell us speaking of busy, tell us some of the greatest challenges you experience as a nonprofit while you serve the community, either in the environment today, what's going on, or just in the normalcy of what's your greatest challenges?
So I think, and this may sound counterintuitive, but one of our greatest challenges that we have is actually how do we let the community know, in all spectrums of the community, that we're here and that there's something for them. And so, sometimes people, I hear it every week, I didn't even know you guys were here. And it's, it's not for lack of opportunities. It's just, I think, we as humans, when we're in our own backyard, we tend to look other places for those activities. And so one of our big kind of hurdles that we always face is, how do we let our community members know that we're here and that we have opportunities for them to learn about their habitats and to learn about just opportunities that they have to engage with the natural world and to protect it and to have advocate for it. And so we're constantly looking for new ways to do that, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through plantings, and we do native plantings with other organizations. We've done some there on Ole Miss campus. And then with schools and getting school groups out, and how do we facilitate bringing those children here so that they can actually experience. Some of them don't get a chance to experience being out in nature. And so that's one of our biggest hurdles, is how do we most effectively get the word out and then actually help those who may not have the opportunities, whether it's school groups with funding and things like that, to actually bring the kids here for that education program.
Wow. So on the flip side of that, what are some of the greatest rewards? What keeps you going in this work now that you've been in it for a number of years?
I think, and I'll go back to an example. So we do, the nature of my job and the nature of what I've done for my entire career is that I get paid to play in the woods on a good day, right? So, and I chose that very specifically, and I knew that going. But to me, the most rewarding thing is when you are able to take someone who maybe hasn't spent a lot of time, they haven't had the opportunity to be out in their environment. And while sometimes we live in this kind of land of the common here in North Mississippi, it's amazing when we get some of these school groups and these kids in, and something as simple as taking a net and dip netting for salamander eggs, or having a family come out to do like a night moth program. And this is an example I will give. The first summer I was here, we did a night moth and insect program where we had a researcher come in and give a little bit of talk, and then we had set up sheets and with lights, and we went out and looked at those and see what we found. Everyone, and it ranged from ages to, like I said, like 3 up to like well into their 70s, and all walks of life, all economic statuses, all, whether this is the first time being outside in the dark in the woods, or if they were always outside in the dark. And what was so rewarding to me is to kind of stop and look around and realize that everybody was there for a common reason. We're all very different. We looked different, we acted different, but we were learning because we were just really interested in kind of learning what was around us, and just to see the looks on everyone's face, to kind of learn, like, I didn't even know this existed in my backyard. And so that's rewarding to me, is putting people in with what's so readily available to them if they just take the opportunity to go outside and look around.
I know that I am one of those that has spent a lot more time outside during the season, and I have just experienced it in new ways and have a new appreciation for it.
And I don't think you are alone in that. It's been fun listening to a lot of stories of people saying, realize, I didn't even know that there was that kind of bird or something like that. If there's a benefit to all of this, that is one of them.
Well, Stephanie, I grew up on a large cattle farm, cattle ranch. So I understand being outside and being in pastures and woods and how much it takes to manage. And I lead in to say, how can the community contribute to your organization and help you with this operation that you're working on?
think, one is spread the word that we're here and that, we're looking to open back up in July. But so spreading the word, also volunteering. And there's ways you can volunteer at home. National Audubon Society, they're in the process of rolling out kind of a revised climate watch opportunity. And that's an example where you, as a person at your home and in your neighborhood, you can get in contact with us, and we can pick out like routes where you can actually monitor different bird species. You can come volunteer with us when we open and help us, whether that's just for our programs, for school groups. We're always looking for volunteers that want to participate when we have school groups out, because sometimes we have 60 kids and they're excited and they're running around, and it's really great to have those volunteers that are able to kind of shepherd them what we're doing. And so, there's always financial support, but the more important is just being engaged with what's going on here, and then let us know how we can be engaged better with the community and then better serve and kind of what the needs are. Like, do you need educational programs in schools and things like that? Because, we can put our heads together and come up with creative ways to provide those solutions.
Great. Your 1 minute. So if you have 1 minute, we're going to give you a minute to say anything you want to share with the people in our community. What message would you tell them? What do you want to say?
I think I would say take advantage of where you are. I think we miss the fact that right outside our door here in North Mississippi, we have an amazing resource, whether that's Holly Springs National Forest, some of your parks in Oxford and that surrounding area, Strawberry Plains here to the north of you. And I would just encourage everybody to grab a pair of binoculars, grab a pen and paper if you're an artist, whatever it takes, and just step outside. And it can be as simple as stepping outside in your yard and just take notice. And I think there's a difference between going outside and looking, and and then also like absorbing and realizing what you're looking at. And I think that would go a long ways for everyone to realize that, we do share a habitat. We share kind of these common threads that run through us, whether it's history or natural areas, and we should definitely take advantage of it because we have some amazing and beautiful landscapes here. And we need to, before we can even protect them and conserve them for the future.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Stephanie, we are so grateful to you for joining us for today's community chat. It's been a wonderful conversation. I'm excited to learn more about Strawberry Plains, and I want to come visit when you reopen and to mark the Hummingbird Festival on my calendar now. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. This Wednesday, May 27th, we'll have Zach Scruggs from Second Chance Mississippi on the show, so be sure to tune in then. In the meantime, please like, comment, share this live feed with your friends. Help us to continue to elevate the profile of these agencies and these people, these leaders doing really great work in our community. In the meantime, stay engaged, stay safe, and we will see you next time on Community Chats. Thank you so much.
Bye, thank you.